Climbers, if you're in a band, then you need to know about this series called If You're in a Band from Maxwell's House of Music and our friend of the show, Mark Maxwell. Value bombs galore. Stay tuned. Welcome to the C.L.I.M.B. This is a show dedicated to helping singers, songwriters, and indie artists like you create leverage in the music business. Leverage is the magic you seek, and the magic you seek is located in all the work that you're avoiding. But when you have leverage, you make more money, you get more deals, you take the next steps. It's a lot easier when they're coming to you, baby. That's why we called it the C.L.I.M.B. C.L.I.M.B. Creating leverage in the music business. That's brilliant. That's a backstory for my good friend and co-host, Mr. Brent Baxter, who's an award-winning hit songwriter with cuts by Alan Jackson, Randy Travis, Lady A, Joe Nichols, and more. He's got number ones in Southern Gospel. He's got top tens in Australia, top tens in Texas. The man's a machine, but what you really care about is that he helps songwriters like you turn pro by revealing how you write like a pro, do business like a pro, and then he connects you with the pros so that you can take the next step. You can find Brent very easily at songwritingpro.com.
And I would like to introduce you to my co-host, Johnny Dwinell. Johnny owns Daredevil Production. They're breaking artists digitally by identifying new fans through data. It's complicated, but thankfully, Johnny is smart under all that tall hair. If you're an artist looking to increase your streams, blow up your video views, sell more live show tickets, and get discovered by new fans, TV, and music industry pros, then Daredevil Production can help. Daredevil has worked with multi-platinum artists such as Colin Ray, Tracy Lawrence, Ty Herndon, and Andy Griggs, just to name a few. You can find Johnny at daredevilproduction.com. That is production, singular, no S, and there is no S because there is no other. Johnny D.
What's happening?
Man, life is good. Life is good. The time y'all hear this, I'm probably in Lithuania. God bless. I'll be back.
Getting another
shortly.
baby?
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully, and hopefully back soon.
Most people go on vacations. Yeah. You go overseas and come back with a kid.
It's funny you say vacation because that is how we roll. Our contact in Lithuania is like, this is not a vacation. We're like, I know. Every time we talk about something, she's like, this is not a vacation. I'm like, not our first rodeo. We're very aware of this.
You know how many kids I got, lady? Do you have any idea how many kids I got?
I'm like, no, picking up one kid, that is a vacation.
Yeah. It is That's funny.
I got 5 at the house, but I ain't at the house. This is a vacation.
That's funny, man. Well, bless your heart, dude. That is those kids need someone to look after them, and man, it blows me away what you got, the lengths you guys are willing to do to take care of those kids. That's cool.
Well, thank you, man. We're trying to be good followers of Christ. So anyway,
so what we're gonna do today, man? My buddy Mark Maxwell, who we're gonna introduce here in a second, calls me up the other day, and he's like, "Dude, I'm on this crazy algorithm. You're not gonna believe what's going on. Like, have you been seeing it?" I'm like, "No." And he started making some content. First of all, right? He dared to suck on the content. And then he hit this wave, and it's like now his stuff's going worldwide, and
awesome.
It's really cool. And it's like quick little consumable little tips, and it's called If You're in a Band. And so that's why we're going to bring him on, just kind of talk about it. Because I think number one, I want to turn people onto the series so they go and see it. But number two, dare to suck with the content and look what happens. You come up with something that works because you tried, and then it gets real freaking exciting when you catch that wave. You know what I mean? And that makes marketing and promotion, it moves it from the icky pile into the, this is really super fun pile. I feel like a rock star. So we're going to talk a little bit about that too. But before we do, let's take care of a little business. Join the C.L.I.M.B community on Facebook. Go to groups, search for the C.L.I.M.B community, or go to facebook.com/groups/ the C.L.I.M.B community. You got to ask to be let in. We let everybody in unless you look like a creep, and then we don't. And that's that. But, this is a group of your peers, man, singers, songwriters, indie artists, indie musicians, everybody supporting one another. You got a question, ask it in the feed. You're going to get an answer, a bunch of answers from people who really are genuinely interested in trying to help you. And this is a really good resource for people trying to figure out how to do this the new way, because I'm going to get into some of this conversation today with Mark. He sent a couple of these artists my way. I had a couple conversations with him yesterday, and most of that conversation was me just enlightening them on how to, be like, they're so good, right? That they're starting to, they're starting to, people starting to want to work with them. And my whole thing is like, these people are brilliant. Congratulations, but be careful, right? Because are they doing it the new way or are they doing it the old way? Because in the old way, you're going to get stuck no matter who the name is. You got to be careful. So anyway, that's what you're going to find in the C.L.I.M.B community, guys. It's we want to hear about your new music on New Music Monday. Post it as a comment. We want to hear about your gigs. Post it on the Gig Alert every Thursday as a comment on that post. And on Wednesday, we have New Heights, which we just call Wednesday Wins because that's better alliteration. And we celebrate those on the pod. So, Brent, what we got?
Yep. A couple of the wins we have are from climber Bill O'Hanlon. It says, a Christmas song I pitched was downloaded by a music supervisor for the project. Playing around this week at the Donaldson Pub. Got my 124th cut this week. Finished my 187th song for the year. So congrats, Bill. Let's see here. Climber June Biancalana, which I love that name, says, it's been a minute since I posted. My songs are gaining traction on indie radio. With Superhero Girl passing 17,000 streams, it closed out the Women and Wine show on OTAT 24/7 last night. So congratulations, June. And Bill, keep on climbing.
There you go. Yeah, Bill, way to go. June, way to go. Bill's like, you remember that cartoon character, Savoir Faire is everywhere. Like, that's Bill O'Hanlon, man. He's like Scott Lindsay hit me up from formerly of the Nash Villains, and he's starting to release some new music, and it looks like we're going to be working together. And I went and saw one of his rounds. Bill O'Hanlon, such a great surprise to see him, man. I always love seeing him. So, anyway, let's bring Mark on, guys. This is somebody that's become a very dear friend of mine. It's definitely a friend of the show. Frontman for like the biggest band in Louisville is called the Crashers. And these guys, I mean, if you want to find out like how to have 6 guys in a band, everybody's got their own company, their own jobs, their own families, and they got this fun thing they do on the side that still grosses $500,000 a year for kids and giggles, man. This is the guy you want to talk to. And he started this, and that's, by the way, that's how we met, was through the pod. Like he had listened to the pod before, and that's how we kind of got, how we got hooked up. Everybody in this band, if you haven't heard of the Crashers and you're anywhere near Louisville, you want to go see them. I mean, this is a master class on professionalism, on musicianship, on how to run a business and be in a band. It's absolutely brilliant and so fun. Like, so fun. I mean, we're 2.5 hours from it. Janelle's like, we haven't seen the Crashers in a while. Let's create an excuse to go up to Louisville. Let's see what's going on. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Mark Maxwell.
Welcome.
Hello, boys. How are we doing?
We're doing
Good,
well.
buddy.
Two-time climber. He's in the two-timer climber club. That's right.
True.
Second episode, so thank you for coming back.
I think you guys inspired me, and I'm just being honest with you. I think you inspired me to share more of what I know, right? I listen to you guys because you both have an expertise, both of you, in a world that I don't, right? And along that path, I realized I did too. In other words, I've always been in bands, and I've always had successful bands. And it's like, this happened a few months ago, and I said, hey, Mickey, the guy that does all of our kind of video work and stuff here at the store, at Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, which is a music store. And, I'm always giving tips to bands around here because we've done really well for ourselves. Our band is, we played last night at Churchill Downs, like, just on a Wednesday night, and made a crap load of money, right? Which is fantastic.
And you're
the
legendary. You're legendary in your market. I'm going to say that, not to embarrass you, but like all the kids coming up that want to be in bands, they definitely know who the Crashers are, and they're like, let's get there, right? That's the achievable status that, you know, everybody's got their hometown band where you're like, you guys are going places and you're good, and that's, you know, maybe one of the best bars that they've been exposed to that feels achievable because, like, I know the cat, man. I can go to his store and say hi. You know what I mean? It's cool like that.
And I hand out this. I mean, I talk to people all the time just because I want live music to be great, and I want it to be wonderful, right? And we need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
that's awesome.
So when Mark's putting his money where his mouth is on that last statement where he's like, and I talk to people and I want to share the information because here's what happened. This thing blows up and he's just like so focused on helping whoever he can help. As the words were coming out of his mouth on the phone, I'm like, oh no. He gave his phone number out on one of the content, and the freaking phone's like blew up. He's like,
not only that, I invited them to call me, which was the bad thing. Well, here's what happened. A few months ago, I wanted to do just a small series, and it was, hey, if you're in a band, then what? Then you probably ought to think about this. You probably ought to do this. You might want to try this, right? It was all these little tips. And it was 30 to 60 seconds long, and we put them up, and I was just going to do it for the people in our town, you know, our little bitty, you know, Louisville area, thinking, well, I'll help keep raising the bar of all the bands here.
Yeah.
And something happened, and it just took off. New Zealand, Australia, Israel, right? Hawaii, Canada, you name it. Now people are emailing me, calling me, texting me from around the world saying, hey, we've got this issue. What would you do? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it has been a ride I just could never have imagined, to be honest with you.
They got T-shirts now, Brent. They got T-shirts.
We have T-shirts to say, if you're in a band. And,
oh, my gosh.
And they're selling all over the world. So it's weird.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I'm ready for your call-in shows like Band Aid or something. You know, just like, call me. What's your problem? Let's fix your band.
I've been doing that. So what happened is that on tip number 63, I told the bands how to split up their money. And the band, and many of the comments that came back were that self-limiting belief of how much money they could make. And so that none of these guys were like, well, it's hard to split up $400 between 5 guys, you know, and to split it up the right way, because I'm telling them, you know, the band should get a certain amount, and then the company should get a certain amount. And so there was
break that down real quick, Mark, if you don't mind.
I will break that down. Here's very simple. There's 6 members of our band. We only get 10% of each show we play. We have 20% of the money. So that's 60%, us 6 guys. Then there's 20% of the money that goes to our crew. So we hire a crew of 5 people that go in, set up the gear, do the sound, do the lights, do everything so that I can just walk into the gig and play it, right? And that was a goal from early on, and no one thought we were going to get there but me. And a few years later, after we started the band, we got to the point to where we could actually afford a crew, right?
Yeah, awesome.
And then we take the last 20% and we plug it into the band. So if the band needs in-ears, or we want to buy a promotion, or we want to do anything, we want to give it away, we have 20% of all the money we've ever made over that year to do so at the end of the year, right? So we may buy a new gear, we may buy a new truck, whatever. Anyway, I was talking about how I was telling people, here's how we split up our money. You guys have to decide what you do. Well, all these people got real negative. So I said, I came into Mickey the next day. I was like, man, this is the first time everybody's kind of gotten a little negative, right?
Yeah.
And what
after
I mean
63,
by that, yeah, it was at 63 that there's just positive energy. And all of a sudden it kind of stopped because I told them, I think this is how you ought to think about your money, because here are the reasons why you should think of it that way. Yep. Anyway, so I came in and said, look, I got a problem. And I said, I need to film right now. He goes, man, we've already got all these other ones in the can. He goes, let's do 63.5. and release it right now.
Yeah.
I go,
Yeah.
okay, fine. So I got on 63.5 and said, hey, so this is a quick one, but from all the comments that came in on tip number 63, it seems that I believe in you more than you believe in you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my number on this screen right now, and I want you to call me with whatever your problem is, and I'm going to fix that problem with you. We're going to do this together, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I put the number up, and for the last week of my life, it's the stupidest thing I ever did. But I now have a much better view of at least the United States right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard for me to understand other countries yet, but I really am getting I will be able to go in with tips now that I never thought about, because it's not how I'm thinking sometimes about people that live in LA or Seattle or Ohio or Florida or Colorado, because I've had calls and emails from all over the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
With problems at the inside of their band, right? And so I go through kind of a little bit of a question thing with them to go, all right, answer me this, Batman, riddle me this.
Yeah.
Give me the 411 on your situation and let me help you get there. And what's the problem? And it's unbelievable. There's been so many problems.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest things I think, though, and every mistake every band that I've talked to is making, I made those already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also figured out how to get through them, right? Because I'm a guy who goes, all right, I got a problem over here, or a problem over here. I got a problem. I know there's a problem. Where's the solution in the problem? How many solutions are there, and which one works best for me right now, right?
Yeah.
And so I've gotten pretty good at that. I think I'm good at it.
That's awesome.
So are they. They thank me when they get off the phone with me, and I'm spending up to about 30 minutes a call, and I have not stopped.
Yeah.
You can hear it in my voice. I had to sing last night. I was up on stage like, man, I'm a little gravelly, right?
Yeah.
Like he here with his
Was that tip number 27? Don't talk too much before the show, because
don't give out your phone number. Don't give out your phone number to the world. Yeah.
At least I didn't give out my cell number. I gave out the store number. So and here's what the beauty of that is that the guys are kind of the guys, they're all helpful here, and they're great. So they're taking the call, getting them into our system, right? So I know who they are and what's going on, and then they send it to me, and then I call the person back when I can.
Oh, that's better.
And sometimes I'll take it right on the spot. But anyway, and so I think really helping, because I never realized that one, helping somebody. I'm not saying buy anything from me. Yeah, I got a music store. I got tons of things for sale.
You're not selling anything. You're not selling anything.
I never say it. I never talk about it. Yeah. I don't even talk about the T-shirts. I do talk about doing merch, and I show them my merch. Yeah. But I'm not here nearly to sell them something, besides the fact that I want them to do really well with their lives. Yeah. I want them to do what, and encourage them. And I want them, because there's two paths. There's cover bands and there's original bands, right? Yeah. So I think the biggest problem I found with all the bands in America is this: they don't know what they are. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me what are you? Like, literally, one of the biggest fixes I do is tell me your website, and they go, well, we don't have a website. Yeah. And I go, does Coca-Cola have a website? Yeah. 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 Does Fender guitars, Ludwig drums, anybody who's an entity who has a business? Yeah. Yeah. And
if you're
I don't
open for business.
If you're open for business, if you want jobs, build a website where you can use it's a controlled environment, right? Yeah. build a website so you can send it to me so I get what you are. Not
Yeah.
with your friends getting in the way, not with somebody commenting about something, the gig last
Right.
night and how, whatever. Social media is for your fans. I'm talking about you building a website so that you're an entity to the people who are going to buy you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my client, Churchill Downs, or any corporation, Yum Brands, or whatever.
Yeah.
I
City
have
of
a
Louisville.
website.
Yeah.
That's it, City of Louisville. You send it and say, my name is Mark. I play in a band called The Crashers. Would love to play for you. Check out our website. A controlled environment to them to go to and understand what we do. And you know what we are? A really good cover band. That's what we are. Now, I, at one point, confused people with our site and put in that original thing. And so all of a sudden now we're a cover band and an original thing. And to be honest with you, that is confusing the world. Be one thing. What are you? Are you a cover band? Then be that. If you're an original band, start another site and call it another name.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's hard because I know so many people who don't get booked because they think they're going to play their original material and they don't want that. They want a cover band, right?
Yeah.
And then I have people who have vice versa. They don't want a cover band and they wouldn't even consider hiring you or doing any business with you when you're selling them a cover band, but you're also saying, oh, by the way, I'm an original act. So I am totally against this at this moment. It's one of the things that out of all the phone calls I've made, the people that are successful are the people who say exactly what they are. My name is Mark Maxwell.
Say it right away.
And I play in an original band called this, right? Yeah. Or I'm Mark Maxwell and I play in a really fun, interactive, cover band that plays all the songs from your youth and beyond, right? I'm very descriptive about what I do, and I sell them one thing. And I think that artists around, a lot of them anyway, are selling two things. Most of them, half of them don't have a website, which blows my mind.
Yeah,
two of them, when you get on there, their picture looks like their grandma took it in the backyard, right?
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, slow your roll for a second. We gotta unpack some of this stuff, right? First of all, I think part of the website problem is that, so when it comes to websites, that is your storefront, and Brent and I, and I know you do too, follow a bunch of different marketing gurus. One of them is Donnie.
You thinking of Don Miller?
Yeah, Donnie Miller.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is your website needs to pass the grunt test, right? So that means if I put the website up in front of a caveman in 5 seconds, they need to know exactly what you do. And if they can't tell you, if your website doesn't describe exactly what you do in 5 seconds, then you're not communicating it well, right?
Yeah.
And when you can't tell somebody else what you are or what you do, then you can't put it on a website.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, God.
And you can't make that clear.
How many times do you have to say it?
That's so purposeful right there. You know what I mean? It's just good business and clarity, right? It's about clarity in the message. We see the results of clarity in marketing after with our favorite artists, right? I always use the Celine Dion example of, 20 years after she comes out and she's a megastar, she shows up on Oprah, Celine Dion, with really tight leather pants with a rip in the knee and a concert t-shirt. And it's adorable because we know who Celine Dion is. But when she came out, she did not look like that. That was confused everybody, right? And so but if you see that and you're not paying attention to what you're looking at and what part of the journey they're on, then you get the wrong idea. And let's also say the same thing on the corporate level. Remember how Amazon started, which is all things to all people right now? But brother, they started doing one thing.
The world's biggest bookstore. Yeah.
The biggest bookstore, right. And so That's what the struggle I'm having is the fact is that, and here's the thing, I've given 63 tips so far, 65 or somewhere. I don't know where I'm at, 66, I don't know, 67, somewhere in there, right? I don't know how many tips I'm up to now at this day, but I've given so many tips, and if they would just embrace one of them at a time.
Yeah.
And the first one should be this website. I'm telling you, it's the most important thing. But then once you get, and then the thing on the website should be a great picture.
Yep.
And it probably, especially if you're selling what I'm selling, which is the Crashers. The Crashers are a cover band. So you got to look like a bunch of good guys. So our very first picture was us sitting around just laughing, right? It was all of us guys. Yeah. And I was like, hey, there's a nice bunch of guys right there. Yeah, they got long hair, but I'll let them hang out with my daughter, right?
Yeah.
Here was the one. Great picture. On the front page, it's got to describe exactly what you are, right? We're a interactive, fun, enthusiastic, high energy cover band playing all the songs from your youth and beyond, right? Whatever, right? It's something like that we use, right? It just says, here's what we are, right?
Yeah, it's the value prop, right?
It is value prop. And then we have our set list, and we have here's how you contact us. And then if you have good audio or good video, put it up. But don't waste your time putting up something that looks like crap or sounds like crap.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's the kind of result you're going to get.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the picture for a second real quick, because you said made me laugh so hard, dude, because this happens all the time. Like, I'll start working with an artist and they'll come in, we just got some photo shoots done. And I'll look at the shoot for a second and I'll be like, these look like yearbook pictures. So it's like, well, funny that you would mention that. Like, it's our yearbook photographer that actually took it. I'm like, oh, well, how the F did I know that? You know what I mean? Like, no, this isn't good. Like, and then I swear to God, I had another one. And I'm like, I'm looking at the pictures and like in 5 seconds, I'm like, this looks like somebody took a picture that's creating pictures for like a badge to get into a building or something. Yeah. Well, the guy that does the photo shoot, and I'm like, wow. Okay. Like, come on. You know what I mean? Like,
that's hilarious.
You want to get somebody that knows how to shoot an artist.
It's the first thing that people see when you open up as a picture, right?
Yep.
And that picture better make you look like you're worth a bunch of money. You know, that you're a star.
And it better tell the story of what they're going to get in the live show. Yeah. It better tell, like, you guys were all laughing and this, like, okay, so it just looks fun. And they're okay. So this, all of a sudden it feels good, and you're a cover band.
We use that first shot. We dressed really nice and we were having a great time. So it was like, that looks like a bunch of good guys, Yeah.
Yep.
And it looks like, and they also serious about what they do. And now, we've had now we can do some badass shots, we can do those badass shots we want. But most of the time we're just looking for the fun. We're selling the fun. That's what we do. Yep. And so I think that bands just don't have that website thing. That website thing kills you, because here's the thing. Once you have that, the real work is then. And I don't care if you're an original act, because if you're an original act and you're just one thing, which means if I go to your site, I need to know that's what you are, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the websites that I've looked around the country for all these people that are emailing in to say, hey, help us with our band. We want to play big gigs, right? We want to make big money.
Yeah.
And I have to then start tearing apart almost from the ground up what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so once they do have that website, the next step is the most important thing at all, of everything. And that's the fact that if there are 4 members in the band, then each one of those 4 members have to make a move with that website every day, one move. Mm-hmm. So today, I have to send out an email that says to somebody. And in our band, we took and said, all right, you're going to do all the promoters in our area. You're going to go after them, just so they'll know who you are. Because I can tell you right now, if you're in a band, no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
Go walk on the street and say the name of your band to somebody. Hey, have you ever heard of the Chickens? No, what's that? Most people have no idea who you are. That's okay. It matters who knows who you are.
Yeah.
So if I had a band and I had a great website and I wasn't getting the kind of gigs I would want on the side of being a cover band, there's a certain thing I would do, and it takes a while to get into it, but there are certain things I would do, certain people I would reach out to on a daily basis so that eventually you'll build up so many people that know who you are as they're talking back and forth about you.
Yeah.
It's the same with being an original artist. If an original artist is out there and you're trying to sell yourself to the public, maybe you should be trying to sell yourself to the record companies, to the agents, managers, to the Johnny D's of the world who want to help your band or your artistry go on, right? And so I think people are working in their business, meaning they're on their business. They're upstage playing, right? They're not working on their business.
Amen, brother.
On their business means, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and email this person so that at least whether they look at it or not, I did it. I'm gonna send it to this person because that person may help me, right?
Trust the process. Yeah.
That's it. It's like you want big muscles, do push-ups every day.
Yeah.
You want a big, successful band, you got to put in something every day to go towards something.
Yeah.
And I learned this by doing If You're in a Band video 90 days ago, because we ran it every day. 5 days a week we ran it.
Yeah.
Right? And it took off. It took off.
Look at that.
I know.
Consistency. Damn. Yeah. I wish I would have thought of that, Mark. That's genius.
I wish I thought about when I was 20, not 60 or what. Yeah. I wish I would have thought about it back in the day, right? I wish these kids would listen to me. Just go build a website and send it to me. I want to see it. Then I'll tell you what to do with it, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to make yourself successful, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell you where to play. I'll tell you how to do it. I'll tell you who you need to know, who has to have that in their hands. But until they have, you know what it's like? It's like if you guys came to me and said, hey, look, can you see me, guys? I have, if you're listening to this podcast, I am holding my hands out, cupping them in front of me as though I'm carrying water in them. But instead, I've got ketchup in here. And I'm going to give you guys a French fry. I want you to stick your stick your French fry in there and taste my ketchup. Would you do that?
Yeah. Pass. Hard pass.
That's what they're doing. They're calling me on the phone and saying, hey, my band wants to play there.
Yeah.
What are you talking about your band wants to play here? You haven't bottled your ketchup. Put your bottle in the bottle. Make a beautiful bottle. Make the label wonderful. Bring it to me. I'll be glad to try your ketchup. Just bottle it like you care about it.
Instead of looking like you might throw it at me.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
but
so
one thing, Mark, that you said that I think is, I want to tease out a lesson from this is every day each person has to make a move, say, on the website.
Ugh.
What gets measured gets managed, right? It's very different than a vague, like, okay, guys, all of us have to help promote the website. Okay, what does that mean? I don't know. I'll get to it next week. I'm busy. Every day. So 4 people should have check marks in their calendar saying, I did that today. If you didn't, it didn't get done.
It doesn't take 10 minutes. It
Right.
doesn't take 10 minutes.
And so you can tell at the end of the day, did I do the thing or did I not? I didn't do the thing. Whereas if it's vague and not time bound, then you're like, oh yeah, I'm working on the website. What are you doing? Well, a couple days ago, I sent out an email and tomorrow I think I'm going to do a thing. Well, like what happened the days in between? Nothing. Every day, it's a pass fail. You can check it off. You can't check off I'm going to work on my songwriting. I'm going to work on promotion. You never check that off. So just that time bound and specific is hugely important. So I just want to highlight that.
Yeah, well, you're right. I mean, writers write.
Yeah.
Right? You got to wake
Right.
up. You got to do your push-ups.
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
write. That's what you do. And if you're in a band and you want your band to go far, people need to know who you are because they don't.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who anybody is. You guys have been doing this thing for a long time, and I still say to my friends, "You guys listen to the C.L.I.M.B?" And they're like,
Love that.
"What's that?" And
Yeah.
I go, "What do you mean, what's that?" I even shot a few weeks ago, and I don't know that it's not out yet, but I told everybody, I said, if you're in a band, you probably ought to be listening to things and watching things and learning from other people, right? And I said something about your all's podcast. Because,
Thank you.
Why wouldn't I? It's brilliant. There's so much in here every time that people are crazy not to listen to you. They're crazy. Both sides of it. Being a writer, because it's one thing, writing a song's one thing.
Yep.
The other side is what Johnny does. And so you two are the perfect combination. And everybody who's in this music business, whether they do write songs or not, should be listening to this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
You guys,
I agree.
Agreed. Yes.
I don't know that there's anybody doing a better thing because it is both sides. It is about the writing and it is about the promotion of what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I just, everybody should be listening to this. And here's the thing, maybe they just don't know. And so I mentioned it a few weeks ago, and I haven't seen that one pop out yet because I meant to say something about Tom Jackson's thing, and I don't think I said anything about him on there because Tom, you want to be good on stage? Man, that guy's a genius, dude.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's a genius. And
Yes,
so
he
there's a
is.
handful of us who have done it, and then we want to share it with the world, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I think we're right.
We are right. Well, let me say this. I want to give you props.
It's working, right?
Yeah, I want to give you props because you guys, I mean, from the moment that we met, were scrambling with the initial onset uncomfortableness. That should be like a diagnosable disease that everybody
Sudden
has.
onset uncomfortableness, sudden onset awkwardness. I get that.
Yeah, like when you first start, number one, you've got to resign yourself. You have to surrender yourself to the idea, like you're going to have to do some freaking social media. You're going to have to shoot content, and you're going to have to be consistent about it. And then the next question is, well, what am I going to shoot? Well, I don't know. And I had, Mark, you sent two of these artists my way, and I had great conversations with both of them, and that's what we talked about. I'm like, what should you do? Like with this budget right now, for less than $2,000, you can go buy like some killer lights to really like amp up your content. And if you realize how much you're going to use those lights shooting content, the way that you realize how much you're going to use that Les Paul if you invest $2,500 in that.
Yeah.
It becomes a tool. Now it's an investment all of a sudden, and you're going to go there, and you can't afford, I don't care how much money you have, you don't want to afford outside, constant content as much as you're going to need to do it. But what do you get first? The initial onset awkwardness where you're like, we don't know what to do. And I remind them, like I'll remind everybody on the pod, the beauty about social media and getting through the awkwardness is when you suck in the beginning, and you will suck in the beginning, it's anonymous because
Nobody knows.
It means nobody saw it.
Yeah.
So then
I deal with the same. I deal with this all the time.
For a long time, and
right.
now look.
Here's the thing: people are like, man, you're really good right off the cuff, and I'm like, I'm full of crap. Number one, right? And so I am easy to shoot something or be a part of something. Like it doesn't bother me, but it's just a matter of doing it, right?
Yeah, reps.
It's just, you do it, reps.
Reps.
And everything we do.
Reps.
And so,
reps.
And it's almost like you ought to have a checklist in the morning where you wake up and go, all right, what do I got to do to get through this day? What thing two things, three things, five things, I don't care, what's going to make it better for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And I wish everybody just wake up and try to do them all and just check them off and be like, because I'm telling you, it is that whole thing of a year from now, you will be blown away at what happens with you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and it's just, and you got to do the reps and you got to do the promo. That's the biggest frustration that I have with the artists that I'm working with. I mean, it's to the point now, Mark, you mentioned like, go get a website done and come back and talk to me. And then I'm going to give you more of my time. I'm at that point with the artist now. I'm like, you can pay me to help push your content out and try to strategize this, or you can do it organically. Ideally, you'll do both, but every single one of those options, door number 1, door number 2, and door number 3, require you to go through the behavior modification and be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And, and so until you get this going organically, I can't help you. Like you're just going to be wasting your money with me. And so it was, I love this. I love what you're doing. And, I want people to know that there's resources like you that are out there, like us.
Yeah.
I appreciate you promoting us.
Yeah.
And we're promoting you. Like you can find this at Maxwell's House of Music on Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yes.
I saw it on Facebook, but it was Reels. It's quick content. I was doing some like brain dead work at the office the day that you called me with this, and I consumed all of them. You know what I mean?
Listen, as of this week, I think they'll all be on YouTube also. They'll be at Maxwell's House of Music YouTube. So all of them will be there right in a row. You won't have to search for them anymore. They'll all be there this week. And I'll probably reach out to you, Johnny, just to get some advice on this. Because to be honest with you, that's not the job I'm into. I'm not here to... this wasn't meant to be. It's just now that I've done it, I feel like it's something I have to see through. And now and I just got a call from Alaska, and there's a guy up there that wants to bring me up to do a class, right? One for all the musicians around Anchorage, Alaska, right? And to go in and to talk about one, how to treat your business, right? Then 2, how to treat yourself, like in other words, how to keep yourself healthy, because I talked a lot about that stuff. And 3 is what you do on stage, both musically and show-wise. And Tom Jackson teaches a lot of that stuff, which is great, right?
Yeah. Dude, one of the things you did that was brilliant, Brent, like you'll love this. If you're in a band, and then it like pauses for a friggin' eternity. And then he comes back and he goes, that was 5 seconds. 5 seconds. And he just froze, and it felt like an eternity. He goes, dial it up. Let's do 10 seconds, right? He goes, okay, this is 10 seconds. And then you wait, and you're like, oh my God, I could have made a sandwich. I could have run an errand. Yeah, just like that.
Right there. So the idea is when you do that, it feels like eternity on a band. I went and saw a band live the other night, and they did this. Like in between the songs, it took so long. Their transitions there were none. There were no transitions. They had no idea. They never even thought about it. And I was like, you know why DJs do well? DJs do well because once you're on the dance floor, you're out there for 40 minutes before they stop the music. That's why DJs do well. And when they stop the music, you leave the dance floor only for them to drag you back up by playing a slow song, right? Yeah. So the idea, why don't you do that with your band? In other words, transitions are everything. And time in between songs sucks. And unless it's meant to be, right?
This reminds me of, like, I used to go to showcases a lot, in Nashville, aspiring artists or label showcases, that kind of stuff. And so many of them, it would be, it's a hired band. They're not a band. And you got and they've learned songs, but they haven't learned all the transitions and that stuff for this, 30-minute set or whatever. And so it'd be like, song, thank you for coming out tonight. Next song, next song, and then my buddy, Thomas Martinez, I was writing for Major Bob. They brought him in. I mean, he was touring all the A-list clubs out in Oklahoma and Texas and all this stuff. So he's like rolling up in his bus, and it's his band. And they just blew the doors off with a 30-minute show. They got like 3 record deal offers like that night or something ridiculous. Because like then it was just the transition. It was a shortened version of it. Our buddy Anthony Oreo did that. Like it was a shortened version of it, but it was a show, not a showcase. And nailed the transitions, one song right into the other, talking over the, whatever. And it was just like,
the key word in showcase.
That's what that is. Show.
It's like, not a song case. It's a showcase. Like, where's the show?
I mean, the difference was staggering.
Another thing that you said I thought was genius too, which I recommend like all the time. You talked about, it might have been what you were just talking about, but you talked about the having a mic is powerful, right? It's a powerful thing. And one of the things that I've shared, like one of the little tricks I've shared, feel free to use this on if you're in a band, right?
Write it down.
Write it down. Yeah. So, man, when you got that killer open and slap, right, with whoever, maybe the big local act, maybe it's a national act or whatever, take the Tom Jackson approach. Number one, this might be a separate tip of like, the first thing you're going to do is think about, we've got a half hour. How many songs can we shove into a half hour? No, you need to create moments, right? But I tell every one of my artists, and to date, I've only had, I think, 2 that have actually done it. But when you go on, instead of like, because you're the support act, whatever song you decided that you're going to start with, start the show by vamping on the chorus a cappella. Band's back by the amps, just the singer goes out there, and you're just alone on a mic and you're vamping on the chorus, having some fun. Because that's how powerful that mic is. Because people don't know, it takes halfway through that first chorus before people shut up and start paying attention. Like, is somebody's car getting towed? Like, what's going on? Oh, they're singing. You know what I mean? And then it's this amazing way to flex your muscle as an artist, look really cool, and command, not demand, command attention. And then start the song, the band kicks in, pushes forward, and now I've got your attention. It's so simple to really get everybody's attention and not it's a pattern interrupt from what everybody else does, and that's like, and that's, that was derived from creating a moment, right? Which is Tom Jackson all the way.
Absolutely.
And going, what a great way to do that. So guys, I encourage you to check this out, man, because there's just a million little bitty things that I swear half of them you haven't thought of, or you have thought of, and he just kick in the ass to go and execute it. And you're like, okay, you're right. Like, we just need to, take 10 minutes, tighten the screws over here, and now we're a level higher. You know what I mean? And that's
Love
that.
It.
And ask for more money.
Ask for more money. Yeah.
On that note, like, for anybody that complains about not having, how do you split up $400 or this or that? Well, here's how you don't have to do that. Right here, I'm holding up a cell phone. You've got it. Yeah. You can learn, dare to suck, right? Start creating content, which means you've got to, somebody in the band has got to learn how to master an editing software like Final Cut Pro or Premiere Pro or CapCut or something like that. And you know what? Like, it was one of the bands that I was harping on about this that actually realized, like, you know what? It just occurred. The guitar player's like, it just occurred to me. We're geniuses on Pro Tools, and that's really sophisticated software, and I can move around that as fast as I can think. And so it's a creative tool. And I can do the same with Premiere Pro if I just get past the speed bump of learning the tool. The first 40 hours are a pain in the ass. But then after that, you're just boom, 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 boom. And if you start putting out consistent content, you're going to suck for a while at the beginning. Nothing's going to happen. But if you keep going, you're going to find that hook. And when you find that hook, that brings the people out. Right? And let me tell you something. It is super easy to get all kinds of favors and all kinds of love and the respect that you want when you can just pack that venue owner's place. Right?
No doubt.
But, you know,
No doubt.
the first
You
time
can
we
name
ever
your
did
brand.
that as a band, our band had a $400 bar tab, and the guy called me back. The owner called me back. It was packed, and he's like, Johnny, and he just shows the bar tab, right? Because I think some guys are buying drinks for girls and stuff like that. $400 bar tab. This is back in the in the 80s, right? Late 80s, and he's like, $400 bar tab, and I'm like, oh geez, and he just looks at me. And he's like, got this mean mugging look on his face because he's messing with me. And he just shreds it up. And he goes, let's do this again. And I was like, yes. You know what I mean? Do I have another gig there? Am I going to ask for more money? Am I going to sell more merch? Like, you have the power to create the leverage that you need to do what you want to do. And you've got to create the content. You've got to be consistent.
Listen, the word leverage alone.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing I think I actually ever heard out of your all's mouths was the leverage word. And I thought, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. Get leverage. How do you do that? Well, you listen to Brent, you listen to Johnny, you listen to me, you listen to Tom Jackson, and you take that advice and you do that. And again, I can tell you this, sometimes it is hard to do things yourself, no doubt, right?
Yeah.
But being in community, another word you guys use all the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Community. This stuff, us being friends, right? Us having conversations, us wanting to help other people. This is a gigantic thing. And then them becoming part of the community. And I again, it frustrates me sometimes, but I'm very hopeful.
Well, listen, the guys I talked to yesterday, we'll wrap it up with this. The guys I talked to yesterday are, they started out with, hey, Mark Maxwell turned me on to you. I'm a big fan of his content. And I'm like, I would expect to hear I'm a big fan of his band because I'm a big fan of his band, but a big fan of his content. I'm like, I love that. And you hit me to the fact that they were going to be calling up, but man, great content, right? They're learning from you, dude. And so thank you for that, for what you, and by the way, your boy's coming down, I think from Michigan, the guy from Michigan's coming down July 7th for a showcase. You should come down to that if you can, if you're going to be in town.
That's a huge possibility. I'll check my schedule, but I need to come down and visit anyway. So
bring your wife. Let's go on a double date. You and me and your wife.
I know. It would be fun to hang out and do something.
I mean,
fun.
I need a little romance from you, man. I miss your face.
All right. And I love you guys for even, but it was weird, man. I didn't even think about the podcast at all in this regard that I would actually be on talking about this, but it kind of has gotten to another level, right?
It has.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting thing. And I know for a fact I wouldn't have gotten there or even done this if it wasn't for you guys, right?
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
I'm just being honest. I don't think I would be sharing as much because you guys are always giving. It is mind-blowing to me. Like, you're just great humans, right?
And same, buddy, for you too, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I believe that 1,000%. And we all have to make a living, sure.
Yeah.
But
that helps.
We want to help everybody else make a living too.
Well, you know
exactly.
What, on that note, like you're giving. Now all of a sudden your traffic to your social media has gone up 100x, right? And on those reels that I'm looking at, you're also talking about this deal you got on, get this guitar, get this one free. Here's this, look at this baby right here. And, more people are seeing that and they love seeing it because they got there because you gave first and they like you and they're willing to, you know what I mean? And it's the same way with your band. It's the same way with what Brent does. I mean, they're prepared to love Brent Songwriting Pro when he goes in there.
Absolutely. You're the pros. That's the word. You're the experts. There's nobody they should be talking to in the whole country than you two, right? It's just crazy. Why would you do anything else? Go talk to the pros. Go to the experts. Get their advice. Work with them, right?
Yep.
It's I mean, if you want something, that's what you do, right?
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time. I know that you got a band to run, a club, a music store to run, a family
and
to
phone
run,
calls to return,
and a lot of phone calls.
Oh Lord.
I love this story. I was just so excited that you like, you're just hearing your enthusiasm in your voice, which you always have, but this is on another level. And I'm like, let's get this on the show because this needs to
that's
be
awesome.
shared. There's so many lessons in this aside from the actual lessons that are being taught in the content. So go check it out. Maxwell's House of Music on Facebook or Instagram in the Reels section. If you're in a band, you're trust me, you're going to love this, and comment back to us in the client community if you've done it. We want to know. And by the way, if you heard about this on the show, if we turned you on to it, comment on Maxwell's House of Music and let them know that you heard about it on the Climb, guys. All right. This podcast exists because we want you to win. So keep on climbing.
And we'll see you at the top.